Why is Gen Z being taught to hate America? Well, I'm back with another reaction from a video by my boy Jen. And we're going to talk about this because I'm not quite sure that this is the message that we're trying to send about why they're hating America. I think the bigger message would be is just why are they in generally taught to hate, because they don't hate like as they say they are the of America. Yeah, as you can see, I injured my hand. They're not taught to hate America in general, but I don't know, like I feel that current Gen Z is in general more hated than the previous generations. I have an explanation to why it can be in America, for example, because it's been a long while since like America actually witnessed a serious war, like since Pearl Harbor. And I'm not saying again. I know a lot of people are going to go, oh, there were soldiers and they have family members dying in Korea, Vietnam. I get it. I don't want to discredit them. What I'm saying right now is that the general public, especially, but okay, even if like the general public, like the majority of people, they haven't witnessed this everything bad on their lives. So when they haven't witnessed something bad, they kind of start hating the wrong things, I guess. Well, let's just start watching Jen's reaction. Maybe he'll add something to it for me. I'll just like also wanna no. I think it's good. I think we're good with it.
What do you think are the biggest American problems?
Systemic racism.
Obesity.
I believe Americans export their problems. I think the education
I believe the biggest American problem is that most of them got too comfortable. A lot of people in America, they got too comfortable with how life is going, and they don't want to work for something better. I think this is if you genuinely want the idea of America, and their thoughts are often being pushed on something useless, something else, instead of like actually working and producing something and creating.
System is a big problem.
Do you think the American dream is still alive?
Education system, I don't know. The American dream is still alive. I think the American dream is still alive for anyone who comes, probably, like especially even if you take outside Europe, definitely, because you got the poor countries or the let's say super closed countries where you're not very much able to create a lot of new stuff, like China. But even for Europeans, there's still the American dream, because the difference between America and Europe is often the fact that Europeans are more relaxed than Americans. Like the America is more about work and gain. Europe is more probably about work just enough, like yeah, to have a good life. Like not, we can work more and achieve more if we really want to, but do we want to? Like how much are do we willing to work? I think a lot of the American dream that you work a lot and you actually earn the greatest life you can have, I think it's still alive. And yet a lot of people just think that this is all this great life, it just comes without the hard work. I think this is one of the biggest problems right now.
Not sure.
It has to be a joke, right?
this is the biggest lie ever. The American dream is dying.
So today I'm out here and the question I'll be asking
But it's true, it's dying compared to previous generations, that's for sure.
is, do you like America?
I wouldn't holistically say that I
Never was there, but I really want to go to America. Like I have a couple places I really want to go. Kansas City, of course, one of them. I have my poster still out there for Chiefs game. Yeah, and a lot of other cities.
love the US, but plenty of great people.
It's a messed up country, but they have good pillars in the way of their thinking and what they believe in.
Yeah, America's cool. About everything I'm experiencing now, America is very uncool.
America used to be a leader as a country. I don't think we're reaching our potential, and I think
True, but you know why you're not reaching your potential? Because my generation, including your generation, is way lazier probably compared to the last generation. Way lazier. It's not like coming up from an old, well, the next generation will always be the worst. Yeah, I'm telling you, Gen Alpha will be even worse. Unless they get hit with something serious, which I don't wish for them. But I wish them to like take their heads and understand this by themselves without any problems occurring to them. Well, I'm not sure it's possible in today's reality.
The divisiveness in this country is going to lead to many issues if it's not addressed.
I've been there in West Virginia. That's where I was born. It's a little bit weird for a black person like me. West Virginia, it's a little bit.
Which city is this? Like, which city is he doing this from?
Racist, but
I lived in the States for like 7 years of my life. I met some great people. It's just the violence that I don't like about the States.
Government, no, but country and people itself, I don't have a problem.
Like what?
Well, yeah, you might not like who's the leader right now, but yeah, I can get her actually opinion. Like this country, like listening to her accent, she's probably not very local, even if she is born American. She's probably like second, maximum third generation, because the accent is super clear. So I can get what, like, she's all on the new board, like she loves the America, but she kind of thinks that, okay, yeah, maybe like I can already criticize something.
What about like the politics is that you don't like about it?
Invading
And in the world we live in today,
A
I
lot
would
of people
rather be
don't
ranked
like
by
it.
Americans than another superpower.
Sure, it has its problems politically, but as like a place, most people, the vast majority of the general public is fine.
Recently, there's been
Proving my point.
a poll in America where they said that only 16% of Gen Z are proud to be American. Why do you?
Yeah, this is a super weird poll. Like, I think the idea of patriotism might have disappeared. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm proud to be Ukrainian, I always was. But I'm proud to be a Kulik, I'm proud to be Ukrainian, I'm proud to be a citizen of my city. Like, I'm proud to being everything I am, so I don't think that my case shares on the majority. We're thinking why, again, there hasn't been a time when they actually like got out and were, especially like if you live your whole life in America, like where are you going to show your patriotism? Like the most places I've actually shown my Ukrainianness was not in Ukraine. So same thing for them, like where are you going to be the patriot? Where are going you to see, like if most of them haven't even exited America and they, let's say, go out go out to Brazil, or go out, okay, I don't know why I mentioned Brazil. Let's say go out to a place where the life is worse, and they say, well, yeah, damn, I'm like glad I'm American, proud to be it. Probably, but most of them haven't. So they've seen all of this through their lives. Nothing changes yet. So the question is, do you like it or not? Not if it's better than something else. And that's where Gen Z gets questioned. Plus, again, I don't think they're taught right. What is it like to be an American?
What do you think this is?
Inability to afford an apartment, student loan. There's so many reasons that they talk.
Also interesting, yeah. So like if you have bad life there and you're like, yeah, I don't like it. Makes good sense.
They're kids. What the f do they know?
The American dream.
That's also true. Like that poll, I think it's poll from today. It wasn't the poll that they took Gen X, the previous generation, the baby boomers, all of them at that specific age, and asked if they're proud to be American. So I'm really wondering how will this poll, for example, look in 10 years, yeah, and when you will interview Gen Alpha. So yeah, that lady actually had a valid point, and I can't believe I've been talking for so long and we only watched 1 minute and a half.
Is dying. No one is believing it anymore.
The Gen Z generation is, in a way, in a unique spot. You have, I think, a lot more extreme opinions because it's very easy to manipulate opinions and kind of push your agenda.
True,
Because
especially
today
now.
we have an abundance of information and a lack of nuance where we oversimplify the good and exaggerate the bad.
Yeah.
Gen Z represents that paradox. Open to diverse viewpoints and compromise.
Like if someone did this in Ukraine, I swear to God, I would have like got into a fight with them. In my country, abroad, I would like probably be more careful. I would still interrogate with them. I would still like tell them what the hell are you doing. We would still like come out. I'm not sure it would have gotten into a fight, but I swear if I saw this in my country, people burning the flag of my country, yeah, it would be over for them. I'm telling you, it would be over. I don't care about, like, call the police, tell them whatever you want.
And older Americans,
Not a
yet
chance.
at the same time close-minded in many ways.
I just kind of close myself off and I stay friends with the people.
Should I watch some Jubilee reactions again? Comment below, because I remember I did watch them. The problem with them, they're too long. So I'm not sure if it's like good for people who are watching the reactions, especially later on YouTube.
People that respect my views.
But if this promised American dream is slowly fading, can we really blame Gen Z for their activism and resentment? And if there's no more trust, is America heading towards collapse? I guess we gon' see.
What do you think are the biggest American problems? Obesity.
Populism around politics is a giant problem. I think the educational system is a big problem.
Systemic racism.
He's not. I think he's British. He's not. He's not American. Definitely by the accent. I'm not even sure he's from some kind of district or some kind of like other region. What do I? Not region. I mean from like the. I forgot the word. Diaspora. Yeah, diaspora.
Country.
Racism and sexism.
Legislation harming LGBTQ communities, trans individuals.
I would say
That's the
police
biggest problem.
brutality,
Okay.
of course, racism.
If I had to challenge you though, why do you think there's still more people moving to America than people leaving America?
Easily. because they're so brave inside. Because I tell you, the moment they leave America, they realize, well, you know what, our shit is not that bad at the end of the day. Like, you know, I may have people looking weird at me because I'm gay on the streets, but I'm not getting shot, at least like I can get in some other countries. So let's listen.
Opportunities. They want a better life for their children. They want part of the American dream.
The American dream is obviously very much still alive.
Are you proud to be American?
I'm proud to be this American person.
How do you help the community?
Oh my God. I have protested everything. Guns and all the bills that they try to pass to remove rights from trans kids.
I believe Americans export their problems. Today you see it, that gender identity that is becoming a social issue.
You know why they're exporting them? Because they're still the #1 country in the world. They are still the #1 country in the world. So whatever they are saying, a lot of people are just going to go straight ahead, agree with them. Because it's freaking America. Like, that's their power. And some of them don't realize it. That's why a lot of the times you can blame America for a lot of other problems the West has. Because they are usually the seed that starts them. But because all the others respect America and see them as the #1 power in the world, they kind of agree with them and obey to them.
Export that.
People commonly say that America's biggest export is culture, but it's also their issues as well, it seems like.
You're damn right.
So what do you think are like the biggest problems in America?
Probably just like big corporations running everything.
I definitely
Why?
think that capitalism and corporate greed and big businesses and institutions taking a lack of action to support our communities and the top 1%. Yeah, I'm a tax the rich, eat the rich girly, so.
Okay, well that's interesting that you brought up big businesses because I'm curious. Which of the following companies has
I'm curious, what do they mean by like, so what do they mean they are not helping other people? That's like, that I want to see more on that, hear more on that.
had a massive customer data leak? So Facebook, MasterCard, Twitch, or Comcast?
Facebook, no?
Facebook.
For sure, MasterCard.
What if I told you that it's actually all 4 of these companies?
Haha! Fuck! I wanted to say all 4, but he kind of made us he asked which one. He freaking asked, and I had to pick one. Yeah, I believe it's all 4. I just took a guess, because, like, I heard definitely about Facebook.
I would believe that as well.
How does that make you feel?
Horrified.
A little nervous.
How do you
I mean, all of us know what we're signed for. Come on, the only reason why the only reason why I'm speaking out right now on these streams, my reactions, uploading them on YouTube, is because I've calculated the consequences that I'm going to get from it. Now I know that I can't calculate every single one of them. But you can never calculate anything. I mean, you go out on the road, you can't calculate when exactly the car is gonna hit you. No, you kind of just go in with it. And same thing with leaking information. When I register, I understand the more information I publish, the more chances there is that there are going to be people who I don't want to get it to get it. But that's why I think, and this is also a big problem. A lot of people don't think. Oh, let me just upload something on Facebook. It's just a picture of an island. And I'm just standing there like no one's gonna think anything. Every single piece of information matters. And a lot of it's what you control. Like again, you control so many information. And if you think that saying one word or saying another word won't matter, yeah, it might not matter because you won't get paid for it or you won't get punished for it. But believe me, and I know this like through my life, through experience. Every word you say matters. Every single word. Moreover, a word can change not only your conversation, but the whole point of how a person views you. And I had those experiences in a good way and in a negative way. That's actually how I learned that I have to take control over my words. Not only words, but actions and information.
A text like this before?
All the time. Scammers, right?
Your US package is right, cannot be due to incomplete. Yeah, that's scammer.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. Is that whenever a company gets hacked, data brokers get access to a lot of data and they sell it to these scammers. So that's why we're always bombarded with a lot of these like scam texts and phishing attempts. Have you heard of Guardio?
I have not.
Okay, so Guardio is like a browser extension and mobile app that protects against new.
Okay, yeah, I think this is just like advertisement. Okay, yeah, we're going up here to the most topic.
Foundations of trust is broken. And not just that, there also seems to be less participation. The US military, known for being the world's most powerful, is in crisis, with 2022 being the worst year for recruitment since 1973.
The US military is struggling to recruit those from Gen Z.
The younger generation doesn't care because we all like hate the military, we hate America.
Many blame
Yeah.
woke culture, like mandatory.
Man, I hate the military, bro. I can't fucking stand. As a person coming from a country that is in war right now and having people that I know dying on the front line. I'm not gonna lie, I know people dying who died, and most of them weren't even like in the army before. They voluntarily went there after the country got full scale invaded. And we can be discussing, I don't know this person at all, but since I'm never going to probably talk with this person in my life, you know what I'm gonna say? Fuck you.
Diversity and inclusion classes and a perceived lack of focus on combat readiness. But some may attribute it to an overall loss of respect for the country as seen by many influential figures, including professional athletes.
Bro, this fucking idiot. Again, like how, and after that he tried to come back on the Jets. This was super hilarious. He literally compared the NFL to slavery, and then 2 years later he was begging a club to sign him back. Like, not back, another team to sign him back into the league. Bro, that was, I literally, when I read that letter, it was a 2-page letter. He fucking wrote down a 2-page letter. I was laughing the shit out of myself.
Colin Kaepernick, former 49ers quarterback and now civil rights activist, has consistently spoken out against racial injustice in America.
There's a lot of things that need to change.
In 2016, his refusal to stand for the national anthem in response to rising cases of police brutality raised national attention and debate. But Kaepernick wasn't alone. Over the years, he's had plenty of support from various athletes, including Brittany Griner. The WNBA player also refused to sing the national anthem, stating that it
ended up in Russia, in a fucking jail, and was saved by who again? She was saved by the US government trading her for an arm dealer. For like this guy, I don't remember his exact name, but this arm dealer who has been in prison for 15 years. Do you even hear how insane it sounds?
didn't represent Black Americans. Griner claimed that she didn't mean any disrespect towards the United States, but in early 2022, she was forced to put aside her differences and ask for help. She was arrested at a Russian airport for possession of marijuana and detained for nearly 10 months.
I pled guilty to my charges. I understand everything that's being said against me.
Eventually, the U.S. government stepped in to free the basketball player, but at a cost. In exchange for a Russian arms dealer nicknamed the Merchant of Death that was serving a 25-year sentence, Griner was freed after 10 months in prison.
Brittany Griner is free as part of a prisoner swap.
Many people question the government, wondering why an arms dealer conspiring to kill Americans
The Russian channel
was traded for a basketball player who openly hates America. And all the while, Paul Whelan, a former Marine, was left to continue his sentence in Russia even after 3 years detained. And so it's clear that there's a decline.
I can tell you why. I can freaking tell you why. Because Brittany Griner made the name in the public. And that guy didn't. I don't even know his name. I heard it just now I heard about him. I heard his name now again and I already forgot it. Not because I disrespect him, but genuinely because it didn't catch up. I was thinking about another stuff.
Paul Whelan.
Paul Whelan, yeah. But the public didn't care. You see, the public, they didn't care about the guy who fought for them. And again, I'm telling you, it's going to continue until they get hit on the head. I don't see what may change before they get hit on the head.
Detained. And so it's clear that there's a decline in national pride, even in areas that were once considered symbols of patriotism, from military to sports. And so I wanted to ask the streets on how this all happened.
Is it racist to have national pride?
As a German born and grown up in Germany, national...
Oh, German! Yeah, you see, I thought he was British. German, right, that's the accent.
Pride wasn't something that we were given with a lot because of our history. I don't think it's racist to have national pride. I think it's a good thing in a lot of ways. If it starts infringing on the freedom and...
Yeah, I remember I met this summer a German girl, and she was also telling me that... I mean... I would be proud, but looking at our history, what to be proud. And then I named her a lot of stuff that you as a German can actually be proud. She was like, yeah, but still, she never thought about it in that way. And you know why? Because she was constantly fed the information that, oh, you were bad during World War II. You were bad because you killed thousands of people, millions of people, genocides. This is all on you. And I can agree. And a lot of, all of the countries, I'm not gonna lie, every single country has a skeleton in their closet, but every person has a skeleton in their closet. We're not proud because of the skeletons. We're proud about the good things that we do. But again, if for the general idea, pushing in front your good things is not a winning strategy, they're going to push the negative ones on you. So it's just there's so many information you could feed. It's just that you get picked what you eat, and the smart person can actually rationalize it and only eat the one that genuinely matters.
Ability of other people to live in comfort, I think it gets problematic for sure.
Everyone is going to say they love their country, but maybe the way they're showing it would be different from a person to the other.
True.
Is it good to
That's
have
also
pride
true.
about who you are? Sure, but let it be based on your accomplishments, how good you've been to other people.
Although those two things might overlap and impact each other, I don't think that's a binary.
But is America the only country that's struggling with galvanizing national pride? Because for Russia, the key was religion. In the 1990s, Orthodox Christianity was uncommon as only a third of Russians identified with the religion. But
Yeah.
now 72% of Russians...
And you know why? Because of the Soviet Union. Where would you get God? And now, then all of a sudden, they saw it as a good way to kind of propaganda some of their ideas. And they got on board with it.
are Orthodox, which was largely influenced by campaigns that targeted the youth. Similarly, in 2005, the Kremlin started pro-government youth organizations in an attempt to instill national pride, as Putin recognized as the key in maintaining his political power.
Analysts
maintaining his political power. It's what suits the best.
Say he's used the Russian Orthodox Church to promote a so-called pivot to traditional values.
But it wasn't just the leader in Russia that was thinking this way. For years, national pride has been an important asset for President Xi Jinping's party, even in spite of criticisms from Chinese journalists. In 2019, a Chinese app that roughly translates to study from Xi, build a powerful country was launched. It pushed pro-Chinese messages and provided a one-stop shop for news about Xi's political doctrine. To encourage activity, it provided incentives. Chinese citizens could earn points for their social credit score based on their app usage time and participation in quizzes about the Chinese Communist Party. And when journalists Feng Feng and Chu...
How can you not see propaganda in this? How can you not see? I'm not talking about the Chinese now. It's freaking clear propaganda.
Being both criticized as indoctrination, they were swiftly jailed as traitors. And in a country like America where...
Because there's no democracy.
Freedom of speech supposedly exists, what would foreigners and Americans that hate America say? What do you think are the...
I think if you actually ask most of the foreigners that come to America, they will tell you how much they love it. And I can tell you why. Because otherwise they wouldn't have left their country.
The biggest American stereotypes.
I think ignorance is a big American stereotype.
Americans not being able to like pinpoint exact countries. That's always a funny thing because I'm like, it has to be a joke, right?
Fast food is one of the biggest. The ego is like high. So fast food and arrogance.
Yeah.
That they're stupid, that they're fat f***s.
No, actually, I have never heard of the stereotype. Like, maybe this guy comes from another place, I don't know, but I have never heard of the stereotype that they are stupid.
That their food is disgusting.
Fat, yes. Fat, that was.
Yes, of course.
I guess that there's like a lot of fat people.
Do you think Americans are spoiled?
I feel like Americans have power everywhere they are.
Okay, he's wearing a Seahawks cap. Maybe it's Seattle. But yeah, they are spoiled. Good point, man. That's what I talked at the beginning. Too easy. Life is too easy for now.
You can sense like the presence of, oh, they are American. Americans have like authority.
I'm not spoiled. Do I think billionaires are spoiled? Yeah.
I personally know so many people who
I think billionaires are actually the least spoiled out of all of the Americans.
have an extremely limited worldview being from America. Our education system struggles with educating American citizens about westernization, capitalism, and all of those things are the right thing.
Which brings up a question. Are the issues that we face minor in the grand scheme of things? Because while all problems are subjective, do these America-specific issues suggest that these are good problems to have compared to most countries? In 2020, after the death of Floyd,
Alleine, verängstigt und voller Wunden. Lebensbedrohliche Parasiten breiten sich.
over 90 Confederate monuments were removed, with the final one taken down in Richmond, Virginia. But if events from 3 years prior are any indication, not everyone is happy with change. In 2017, white supremacists and neo-Nazi groups gathered in Charlottesville, Virginia to protest the removal of a statue honoring Confederate general and slaveholder Robert E. Lee. And as racist slogans were chanted, things got out of hand quickly after 32-year-old Heather Heyer, a counter-protester, was ran over and killed. And so it's clear that while one group seeks to preserve their ideas from the past, another is looking to rectify what they see as past mistakes. And no group is leading that resistance more than Gen Z. But can scrutinizing...
Yeah, because they were taught of their history. And this is also a thing. Both of them, they are fighting for their country. That's why I think you have a problem right now, maybe with the American. That's what I mean by getting hit on the head. That's why you have Democrats against Republicans now. You know, it was never meant to be like this, because the founding fathers, they were all aiming to think what is best for United States. And it wasn't even Democrats versus Republicans at the beginning. It later on formed like this. They ended up being the two strongest and the most influential parties. But it's only been recently, when, as I said again, they haven't been hit on the head long ago, that it turned out into Democrats versus Republicans. And not what is best for our country at the moment.
every aspect of life lead to more problems or solutions.
I feel like Gen Z has had more.
Like, look at Kevin McCarthy's fireman. It's just so weird. Like, genuinely, only, okay, you're a Republican. We can't. We were going to vote against you.
Opportunities and information than a lot of generations. Do you think this has made you guys more open-minded or closed-minded?
More information creates the illusion of being informed. There is
More information helps you get more informed if you know how to use it right. If you keep feeding me, let's say like this, if I get let's say 10 news per day, 10 articles per day, and they're all truth. They're all truth. And later on I start getting 100 articles per day. But only half of them is truth and half of them is bullshit. If I know how to separate them, if I'm smart enough to figure it out, I will get more information. 5 times more information compared to what I got in the past. But if I dumb enough, I'm gonna get misleaded.
so much content out there. Even all what I've been saying is basically based on contents that I've been consuming, but who the hell knows if it's true?
They're closed-minded to anything that's a little different.
Do you think Gen Z is not able to take into account how good we have it at the same time?
Many of us were extremely little when...
They do. They just don't value it. Oh, okay, my bad. Remember when I said it hasn't been a long time since they had something? Yeah, 9/11. 9/11 was the last big thing that hit them hard, where they all got super united and lovable and what is best for our country. But it's been 22 years ago. There's been a whole new generation that doesn't remember it.
9/11 happened, the 2008 recession, 2016 election occur, and overlapping all of that, we've had an
Those are not. Those don't stand even close compared to 9/11. And I can tell you because I know people who were in New York during that event. So it's nothing compared to like that tragedy.
extreme mental health crisis, and then have been facing climate change issues. Gen Z has had it extremely hard despite those privileges.
If I have to challenge that though, don't you think though Gen Z sometimes maybe masquerades closed-mindedness as open-mindedness?
The 1960s, when there were older generations who said you're far, far, far too radical. We have a much fairer society because of the vision of the younger generation.
What if we start seeing race, gender, and problems and everything? Do you think that could also make it so a lot of problems become exacerbated, or we view it that way, even if it's not there?
To call that out is not to be divisive. It is to call out the division in someone's mind when all that is whitewashing, ignoring, and marginalizing and erasing history and present injustice.
But is it realistic to think that we can put aside our differences? And are we moving closer towards a more unified society?
Let's hope like this.
In 2045,
I can believe this.
the United
Not saying it's true, but I can believe this.
States is projected to reach the majority-minority milestone, where white Americans, who are currently the majority ethnic group, will become a minority. On the one hand, it represents an ongoing demographic shift and a step towards a true melting pot that's a unique strength of the US. But on the other hand, if recent events are any indication, could it potentially lead to more racial tensions and division?
Of course.
It may not just be the US, because in less than 40 years, the UK is on pace to become the most ethnically diverse country in the Western world.
Of course.
Greece, Spain,
You got European migrants, you got Arabic migrants, you got Indian people.
and Singapore facing similar trends. It raises the question.
Greece have the same. Like, there are people fleeing their country from all the sides. So yeah.
Will this diversity help unify us or divide us? Do you think diversity has any...
I'm actually curious though, like how what if you put Russia into this? Like, how diverse can they go from it? Probably not that much, because living in Russia is not that good for a lot of migrants to run away there. You know, they want Greece, they want the UK, they want the United States. American dream still alive.
impact when it comes to national cohesion?
Basically, you're destabilizing a society. We've seen it through history. I mean, Rome seen too many people coming in from different places, and maybe that's one of the factors that empires fell.
Diversity binds us together. It's not a melting pot.
Diversity is what strengthens us. We sent our kids to the local public school across the street where they went to school with kids that got free lunch, free breakfast. We did not have them tested for the gifted program so they could be in school with white people. I'm talking about everyone who had your kids tested so they didn't have to go to school with poor kids and Puerto Rican kids and black kids. That's a real...
Did you hear that? Poor, Puerto Rican, black. Like, this is 3 different categories of children. It just sounds funny.
Sore spot for me.
Because ultimately, it may not be about the individual differences that matter, but more so hating a similar thing together. Sebastian Junger wrote the best-selling novel Tribe, delving into topics on tragedy, community, and belonging. From what society can learn from early tribes to how war and catastrophes like 9/11 can bring people closer together, it seems like we are designed to find community. And
that's what I said, until they get hit. This is, I think, what actually also united a lot of people in my country. Not gonna lie. You know, when the war starts, all of a sudden you all have a common enemy. Even those who, like, I didn't like a lot of the times in Ukraine, I was like, okay, yeah, okay, but like, let's those are not problems for the moment, because we got way bigger shit to fight. So yeah, I'm not saying that there should be something like this in the United States. I absolutely don't wish them that, but who knows, something like who knows what else can actually unify them again, if not a big problem on their hand.
2, form and strengthen these communities during hardship. But why? He found that when tragedy strikes, a traumatized society would unite for support, which led to lower levels of crime and depression. And it's consistent throughout the world. Israel, a country in ongoing geopolitical conflict, has long...
That did not time well. 13 days. Which means it was like end of September when it got uploaded. Prayers with Israel.
It required 2 years of military service for both men and women. And despite the hardships of war, Israelis report a stronger sense of belonging, and only 1% of their military experience PTSD compared to 20% of the American military. Though critics argue this book glorifies war and tragedy, it's clear that life-threatening situations and a shared tragedy...
I haven't read it, but from what I heard now, it doesn't quite glorify war. It just explains that in the moment of deep shit crisis, people unite together and come battle it together and stop, and you know, bullshit problems go, like, when real problems occur, you kind of understand that the things you had before were just complete nonsense. Something like this.
Are powerful forces that unite people regardless of their backgrounds. But when over 1 in 10 Americans report having no friends, and that research shows that you can literally die younger without these good friends, America is facing a loneliness epidemic. So how has this lack of community impacted modern day America? How do you think America has changed over the last few decades?
People have kind of zeroed in on those extremely strong opinions and kind of built that us was mentality in a lot of ways.
Rich people, the 1%, they take through other 99% and create what comes with it: social tensions, poverty, all the problems that come with it.
Do you think America is the greatest country in the world?
I couldn't say that. No, I don't think so.
Do you think the American dream is still alive?
You can make your dreams everywhere you be. It doesn't have to be in America.
I do think that that's a little bit more maybe.
Tell it to a North Korean kid. I dare you.
Complicated than it used to be because of the access to wealth and resources that you might need. But at the same time, I think there's still a lot of opportunities.
The American, that's the best marketing. This is the biggest lie ever. It's alive in the mind of people, but it's an illusion.
And so it's clear that America, like any other country, isn't without its flaws. And in an era of infinite access to information and growing polarization, trust in our institutions and one another is rapidly declining. And when the reasons for its failures can no longer be concealed like they once were, the idealized image of America is slowly fading for many.
Can't watch
and
this.
Revealing its true reality. But just as Gen Z has challenged the status quo with
Like,
its
I wouldn't even burn an enemy's flag. Because for me, it's just pure disrespect. It's like burning I don't know, someone other's religion's book. Yeah, let's say the Quran. I would never, like, I would detest it. I hate it when I see it. Like, for me, it's just wrong. Like, destroying symbols of other people. I don't know. But this, in your own country, with your own flag, it just double hit in my chest. Ooh.
open-mindedness, they also need to put their money where their mouth is and recognize the abundant opportunities, freedom, and privilege that living in America provides, which many around the world will still die for.
Yeah.
Do you trust America? Are you bullish on America's future?
I feel like the future will be good. Honestly, I feel like the right people will step up and everything will be fine.
Are you one of them?
Yeah, to be a good person, because in America, what makes it so good are good people.
Because change isn't achieved by demanding that others do differently, but by looking at yourself in the mirror for once. And that's exactly the mission, to explore the unfamiliar. Thanks to our sponsor Guardio, and like, comment, and subscribe.
Exactly. WGN. As always, he does speak straight up facts most of the time. Oh, long reaction, but it needs a conclusion, and my conclusion will be: value what you have and work on becoming better. Guys, this was zynoVII7 back streaming. You can see I finally settled up in this area where I'm going to be streaming for now. And I don't know, maybe expect some more uploads on this channel soon. Also, I'm going to work on the philosopher looks for a job format, so be sure you check the first episode with Jean-Jacques Rousseau and be prepared for some more coming up. And yeah, I'll see you in my next reaction for those of you watching on YouTube.